Hey guys, what's up? Jason Keys here with Just Unbox, where we bring you the coolest tech products. I am super excited clearly today about the Rodecaster Pro. Don't get this confused with the Rode Procaster or the Rode Podcaster or the Rode Pod Mic, and whoever's naming the product said Rode. My goodness, like, we got to be a little creative. But regardless of that fact, this thing is awesome. I have a ton of friends that use this. I personally have not even opened it yet, so it's gonna be actual unboxing video with you for the first time, so we can see what's actually inside this box. So without further ado, let's open it up. Handy knife, and cut around this guy here. Ooh, the first time opening something up. Let's see here. There we go. Very cool, very cool. It's like a life-size version of it. A little mat. I'll use it as a mouse pad if you so desired. And it shows you what it's going to look like when you actually open it up. And on the back, it's got some directions on utilizing the software that goes with it, or basically connecting it to your computer to download the latest firmware version. And there are some upgrades in the firmware that recently came out, from what I understand. Another giant instruction manual menu style here that points out all the features on what that is. Clearly a record button, a screen, etc., etc. So pretty cool. I guess they know, Rode is very smart and knows that nobody reads manuals. So make it big and make it in your face. And another quick start guide. I think this one's actually pretty cool, and this one's something I think you'd probably just want to keep with your Rodecaster, because it shows you how to connect it to a microphone, how to connect it to a phone via an aux cable, how to connect it to a phone via Bluetooth, and how to connect it to your computer. And on the back side, it continues with more guidance on how to record a podcast to a computer, how to record it to a micro SD card, how to connect your headphones, and finally connecting some external speakers if you would so desire. So let's see here. Some nice solid foam. I think if you don't have one of the custom cases that a lot of manufacturers make, and we have one that we purchased that we're going to be reviewing or unboxing here for you soon, keeping this foam would be a good idea, because it's pretty solid, and I think it would keep your device safe if you're not permanently keeping it on a desktop or a recording station or in your studio. Or if you're traveling with it, maybe I think this box would be a good idea to keep it behind. The actual device, why don't we set this aside for a second and come right back to it and just see what else is in the box, so we can set this box aside. So like I said, this box seems pretty sturdy and has this foam that's cut out to hold the actual device. So my recommendation is don't throw this away unless you're getting one of the custom cases that a lot of manufacturers make for this. So we'll go ahead and set these giant how-to guides back in the box, and I'm gonna get this box out of the way, since it's a giant device that we have to play with here. This should be the power supply and maybe some other accessories. What do you know? What do you know? I guessed it. Nothing else in there, so we can set that aside for now too. Power cord, standard US power cord, 3 prongs, so you're gonna need that neutral on the outlet. And over here would be the brick that this would need to plug into. And it's kind of like a proprietary barrel connector, and looks like something that would spin and latch on, and we'll test that out in a few seconds here. And then of course this power cord would plug into the brick, and therefore getting you your extended power cable here. So that's cool. Let's see what else I've included here. It looks like a USB-C connector and a little Rode Velcro, which is nice. I wonder what that's for actually, so we're gonna find out. And then These seem to be a little cheat sheets. They're glossy, so maybe you can use like a dry erase marker on it to write down what you're going to be using these touchpads for, which we'll come to in a second. The touchpads, basically, from what I understand, can hold pre-recorded music files, and you would write on here if this was your intro to your podcast, maybe clapping sound if you're performing some comedy, or laughing maybe, and maybe interview of some sort that you pre-recorded. You basically jot down on here so you can keep it maybe next to you when you're recording your podcast, and you have an idea that the top left button is going to be your intro versus the bottom third one is going to be maybe a pre-recorded interview. So that's kind of cool. Not necessary, but I guess it's good to have. And the cables. So let's get to the main thing, the actual beast of a device here, the Rodecaster Pro. Look at that. That is sexy. I love it. I love it. It's got a little warning mark, little thing here. Warning, this equipment features headphone outputs that can produce very high volumes. You can activate headphone limiting in the advanced menu, but even when activating listening at high volumes, it's possible you might damage your hearing. A little disclosure there. Everybody knows this, but yeah, keep in mind that these things can get really loud if you have the headphones plugged in. So this is the actual device. It seems like it's like pretty solid. It seems like it's all metal. The knobs appear to be kind of a matte finish texture, but they are plastic. The pads seem responsive enough, but not ultra soft. Like you can almost not feel that they're being pressed. And the giant record button. Now this one actually has some movement. It actually drops down and you can feel a little bit of tactile feedback. Not so much on these pads, and I'm guessing that's by design. The color touchscreen, which we'll look at in a second, we haven't even fired this up yet, has a little protective cover on it, which we'll remove. And then these sliders, which seem to also be made of plastic, but they definitely are very, very smooth to slide up and down. So that's cool. Looks like for the 4 microphone input channels, there's rubberized buttons which can turn on and off each microphone input. And there is different buttons to control whether you want to mute or maybe listen in to just that microphone, isolate it. And let's look at the inputs over here. Looks like there's a master power button. This is where that funky power cable gets plugged into. And like I said, it was threaded, so it would appear that it gets locked in so you don't accidentally unplug this in the middle of a podcast or streaming. You've got your USB-C cable over here. I think this would be to connect to your computer. I don't believe you can power the Rodecaster Pro from this. They do make an accessory that allows you to use a power pack, a battery pack that plugs into this actual power connector. And then there's your micro SD slot for speaker output left and right channel if you wanted to have actual hardwired speakers outside of this. Headphone 1, 2, 3, and 4, which again, remember, can be controlled individually, as well as a master control for overriding all of those. A aux input, probably 3.5 millimeter for manually connecting a phone or any other audio source. And then your XLR inputs for microphones 1, 2, 3, and 4. This all seems pretty strong, really good build quality in my opinion, just looking at it. And then you have your Kensington connector, so if you wanted to put a lock on this and make sure nobody takes it and runs away. On the bottom side, nothing really much to notice here. It's got some nice rubber feet, so that way it doesn't scratch up your desk and it seems like it would stay in place, and then the Rode logo. And a serial number. For those of you keeping track, this is a totally side thing, but keep track of the serial numbers for any of the stuff that you have in your inventory, your cameras, your lenses, anything that has a serial number, put it in a Google Docs spreadsheet and save that just in case you ever have something stolen or lost. Having these numbers is super helpful for your insurance carrier to be able to know that you had it or to track it down if it's ever stolen. On the left-hand side, nothing to be noted. On the right-hand side, nothing to be noted. And in the front, it seems like there is one single connector, which honestly, I'm not sure what that's for. This one, it seems to be a 3.5 millimeter jack. We're gonna have to come back to that and figure out what that one's for. So I'll definitely get into that further along in our in-depth review. No unboxing would be complete without actually powering this thing up, so let's do that. We've got the other end of this very, very long cable plugged in to a power strip, and let's go ahead and get this thing connected. So you just press in, and like I mentioned earlier, that's exactly what that's for. That little turn on it is designed to keep it locked in so it literally doesn't come out. I'm tugging on it right now. Remember, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So turn it to the right, and the power button's right here, but I'm gonna lay this thing down before I press on it. And let's go ahead and peel that off. Oh, let's hear for that. That was not satisfying at all. Like part of it came off and the other part's still stuck there. What's up with that? Now I feel like I'm gonna scratch the device. Oh, there we go. Oh. There we go. It comes off in 2 pieces. But it's off. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and power it up. Big giant red button. Oh, there it is. Rodecaster Pro. It's showing me some stuff I need to set up. It is not 9:35 at night right now. Oh, whoa, look at that. Colorful there. Reds and greens and yellows. My 2-year-old would be impressed right now. And these all light up like a Christmas tree, red and green. This one seems to be blue right now, and I know for sure that turns red when you hit record. Bluetooth is blue. This is nice. This is really cool. I love this already. We can set the clock. Anybody know what time it is? God just told me it's 6:38. So let's set the time. Close enough. That was easy. 6:30. We just needed to press a couple buttons. We'll keep it on a 12-hour format since we are not in the military. And today is April 14th. It was set to April 13th. This is crazy. I just have to press one button and we're set to the correct day. And that's it. So that was set up. It looks like the screen here is telling me that there is no micro SD card inserted. Very easy to understand logo there. A red X over the SD card. The setting buttons takes you into the overall settings. And I know there's a software update, and considering when this may have been packaged, this software may not be the most up to date. So we'll definitely get into that in a full review of the software as well as the software updates that are gonna be coming after today. But here we have channels. Channels 1 through 4, those are mic inputs clearly indicated by the mic logo. USB, smartphone, and Bluetooth. Again, following along with all the inputs that were already shown on the back end. This is really intuitive, really intuitive. I'm impressed. We'll go back home. I guess we'll get back into that menu. Sound effects. This is where you can program the different sound effects. And as you can tell, when I'm pressing on them, they're actually lighting up. And it looks like you can cycle through the different banks if that would work. So let me turn these off here. And so you have to deselect the button for it to be able to cycle through the next bank. And you can program these from your computer, which we'll get into later, of course, as well. Just a quick walkthrough on some of the features and buttons here. So channels is your audio inputs, microphones, Bluetooth, etc. Sounds is going to be these pads over here. Hardware is where you can control all the features of the actual hardware, from the micro SD slot to, of course, inserting it, putting the device into transfer mode so you don't actually have to take out the micro SD card to put it into your computer. You can put it in a transfer mode and literally transfer the audio files to a Mac or a PC. Your capacity would show up there once if you had one inserted, and the ability to slide to erase the SD card. I would be so careful about that. Double, triple check, make sure you have your files. Nothing worse than losing your work. Brightness, you can actually control the brightness on the screen, which works perfectly. And active state versus inactive state. If the thing lights up brighter or not. And back to that. Headphone, you can limit the maximum volume on the headphone as that warning indicated, and you can also boost it in the other direction if you wanted to. Bluetooth gives you your pairing options, really easy. It looks like on and off. They've really done good on the UI here. I'm impressed. It's just super intuitive. I mean, literally, it's a slider, it's lit up, which indicates that it's on, and there's no device paired right now, so I guess pressing the pair button would put that into pair mode. Again, the easiest thing to use. Advanced gets you into things like multi-track, audio, and other information like changing the date and also checking on the firmware version. So this one is a recent device. We recently purchased this. This was not provided to us by Rode. And it says it's on 2.03. So that is the second firmware version, so it's at least up to date. I do, however, know that there is a beta release 2.1 as of today, as of the recording, that you can add on here to test some even super cool new features, which is one of the things I just want to come back to why I'm really excited about using this device. And my friends who already have it love it because it's kind of like an iPhone or an Android phone or any other device that's smart and can be updated as you go. You don't have to go and buy another version of this hardware to get more cool features, which I think that's how a lot of products should be made these days. On the audio channel, you've got enable mix minus for USB, monitor outputs, and other features, which again, we'll get into. So yeah, I love it. I'm liking this device already, and we haven't even plugged it into anything. So that's it for the unboxing. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you are thinking about picking up one of these, or if you already have it. Do you love it? And look out for more content created, especially using this device, as well as our podcast, which is coming soon. Take care.